I want to introduce you to a really powerful concept today. It's called keeping people in their lanes. This really helps with delegation and empowerment, and it all revolves around this. If you think around this being your running track, think around 100-meter sprints. We have got person A here, and we want to delegate him a task to do. Now, what we tend to do within delegation, we just say, here's a task I want, here's a project, off you go and do it. What this does, it actually puts in a couple of steps in between to keep people in their lane, to make sure that they're focused on the most important thing that they need to focus on. Now, the first thing we need to do is tell them what is the result that I want to look at. So our first thing is the result. Number one, what is the result that you, as a manager, that you want to see from that person? And I'll give you an example. Payroll, for example. Every Friday, I want you to execute the payroll at 3 p.m. Really quite clear and easy. But what we need to do, we need to make sure that we are giving them the guide rails for them to be successful. So, and the guide rails are sounding a little bit like this, right? So here's the policies. Here are the rules, the guidelines. Here are the, maybe the stakeholders, the data that you need to execute the payroll. And more importantly, which is one thing that's always missed off, here are the consequences, okay, of failure or non-compliance. And then what we can do as a manager is step back and we can watch person A to person A execute that result. In a perfect world, this is what's going to happen. But we never live in a perfect world. So what is going to happen is this will ensure that when this person starts going off track just here, you're there to give them that feedback, to keep them on track, okay? To remind them that here's the data, here are the policies you need to be following, and then we can go track. They are actually also going to go the other side. Well, here are the rules. Here's the feedback to keep you on track, and then they're going to get to where they want to go, okay? In this instance, I was working with a manager and they had to stay after work on a Friday to execute the payroll more often than not. And when I asked them, I said, well, what's missing out of all of this? And the biggest one, consequences. So the consequences for not executing, pressing the button for payroll on the Friday, they didn't know what it was. So we ended up coming up with this one, is if by 3 p.m. it's not executed and you want to leave, all emails, all phone calls from angry employees are going straight to your personal phone. Do you know what happened? The next couple of weeks, it was done at 3 p.m. The manager didn't even have to follow up. So this is a really good concept just to keep people in there. It's really pretty simple. Number one, tell the person what the result is going to be. Number two, give them the policies, the rules, the guidelines, the data, maybe the people they need to contact. And more importantly, give them the consequences. Here are the consequences for non-compliance or failure. Okay? And then you as a manager can step back, detach, and observe from a distance. You're not micromanaging, you're giving the opportunity for feedback when people are going off track. Now, you need to just continue to do this.